Hello, good people. Welcome to the Fresh Prince of Talk podcast, hosted by yours truly, Thembela Mkhabela. You know how we do it. Before we actually get into today's episode, do make sure you follow, subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Fresh Prince of Talk podcast, as well as Google, Apple, and Spotify. And welcome again to our episode for today. As you know, today's episode will be tapping into manhood and fatherhood in today's time. Joining us today to have this lovely conversation is someone who's also recently a father. So yeah, let's get to it. I would like for him to actually introduce yourself.
Again. First keeping with Bam, probably right there for the posi. It's a engagement of Thembela Mkhabela. What an honor it is for me to be invited here on the Fresh Prince of Talk, and I can't wait to conversate with you guys to let you guys know on the ins and outs of today. Let's go.
And thank you for actually joining us today. And you know, it's actually quite an insightful episode that we have in store, because I don't know if you guys were aware, this is like our second episode.
Yeah, it's
right?
our second episode that you were doing. Yeah.
So yeah. And now we're doing it and you're a father.
And I'm a father now, yeah. It's kind of exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the last episode I was a father already, it's just because I was a recent father, because now I've got two kids now.
Wow.
I've got a girl, she's turning 5 this year, and I've got a son, and I have to say, it's amazing.
Great.
Yeah.
Wow. So you know what? One of the things that I really want to first start on,
Yeah.
like as we saying, like the topic for our conversation today,
Yeah.
it's more manhood and fatherhood in today's time.
Yes.
So I want to start where it all starts, actually,
Okay.
upbringing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
what do you believe in? What's the difference in today's time in terms of the upbringing that's happening today versus the one in which we grew up in and our parents or fathers grew up in? Like, what's your take on that?
I really like that question because it's a very interesting question. But you know, it's going to come off of a place where I don't want people to try to misunderstand me. So I'm going to try to be as clear as I possibly can be. So I'm from Nkomas, it's a rural area.
Okay.
So I'm the second generation. I'm from my father's side after he became what he became during his lifetime, which I think their environments were confined during the apartheid regime to what we've been exposed to. So because of my father being a hard-working man, he was able to expose me to so many environments that have shaped my character into who I am today. And those characteristics, I think back then were a bit very stern on them, because with them it was all about education. Go to school, finish school, you know, get a job, and then you build all from there. And I think that because of them, their generation, they didn't see other opportunities in terms of our talents and personalities and characteristics. So they were stuck to that one thing. So because I had a kind of a versatile father and a versatile mother, they kind of allowed me to go into spaces in sports, arts and culture, just so I can get to know myself. But I still think there was a bit of restrictions because they didn't know those industries, that they exist in terms of sports, arts and culture. I mean, even us doing podcasts now, if you could tell parents from our generation that when I do a podcast, they would be like, what the hell are you talking about? You see? So I think that's one thing I can take from my parents, being able to give me certain environments to express myself, to get to know myself. I want to do that for my children as well. But I think I need to be more free. I need to be more open with my children, to listen to a bit more to them, and to be able to learn from what they bring to me, because I think our parents are so confined to what they had that they were not able to allow us to actually express ourselves. And I think a lot of people are experiencing that in this time of today, is that they can't express themselves, they can't get to know themselves, because their parents have this certain idea of how life is supposed to go because of their generation. So I think that's what I got from my parents. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, you know, because one thing that I love when you mentioned parents, because obviously we all from our own families.
Yes.
So I also want to talk in terms of society as well.
Yes.
And you know how it is being a man. Do you feel like society is giving men grace, or society is just expecting a lot from guys?
I think the expectations are all around. However, I think everything happening in the world today is putting more pressure on men, because we're not getting as much opportunities as the women do. I'm not saying it's now a gender thing, but we need to be realistic in conversations. And I think people are afraid of being realistic in conversation because of what society would have to say. But I think there is a little pressure in terms of men being able to stand for themselves, to base themselves in who they are, and to get a job that will actually help them grow. Now everything is about, you have money. If you don't have money, you're not a person of value. And you can't make a person's character or personality or talent being of value because of what they have in their hands. Allow the person to express themselves, because you don't know the money that they're blessed with inside. Because money is spiritual. Money is something you're blessed with, understand? You have to be able to express that the talent or that blessing you have in order for you to come. And I think men are so confined. They can't express themselves. You express yourself in a funny way, you're weak. You express yourself this way, it's bad. So I think that there's so many confinements to men in order for us to express ourselves in this time of today, because everything is about materials. Guys, we can't make things about materials. We're going to die and leave these things of the world. I'm talking from experience when it comes to dating. My father's got beautiful things that he's bought, beautiful cars, but now he's left them behind. So what's life really about? Is life really about what society is talking about today? Or is life what everybody's afraid to talk about, which is the truth, transparency and honesty? So yes, I think it is very difficult for men. And I think also when we're growing up as young boys, we're still trying to figure ourselves out. And we might make mistakes, we might make decisions that might make other people happy, might hurt other people. So people hold that and they keep it into who you are. Even when you're getting older and you're becoming maybe what they believed you to have been back then, they're still holding on to, oh my gosh, this guy was so arrogant. Oh my gosh, this guy was this. But and sometimes it's difficult because they were so far away from you, they couldn't even relate to you. So they assumed that you are this kind of person. So there's many social constructs to men, and it's not easy. But yeah, we've got to grind it out.
Yeah, that's it. Because also, mentioning on that, in terms of society and how men are able to get their things.
Yes.
Like you're saying, okay, you used your father as an example.
Yes.
He did achieve a lot of things, beautiful things, but now he's no more.
Yes.
So I don't know, in terms of when we're talking about discipline, when it comes
Yes.
to a man and you having to be in a space where you achieve all of those things, what role does discipline play, or how important do you feel like we need to instill that in, especially younger men that are still growing up, still going to have their own families and stuff? So what role does discipline play in that?
First of all, people need to understand what discipline is. Discipline doesn't mean no.
No.
Discipline doesn't mean you can't. But discipline means you need to respect yourself enough, to love yourself enough, to keep yourself on your path, to keep yourself clean, intellectually, spiritually, mentally. There's so many things that we put into ourselves that destroy us, especially as young guys. I'm going to have an open conversation here. It could be porn, it could be women, it could be alcohol, it could be peer pressure of your friends doing what you're doing, you want to do the same thing. So I think there's so many things that that can hinder you from becoming yourself. Yeah. So I think discipline is self-love. If you love yourself enough, you'll be able to stay on who you're trying to be or who you want to be, to make sure that you get there. Because distractions are always there, man.
That's true.
You can be the most handsome guy in the world, getting all those girls having a crush on you, and that might be a downfall. So discipline yourself enough to love yourself, to confine yourself, to not allow people to just come into your space and distract your energy, distract your spirit. I think, yeah.
Yeah,
that's my take.
So when we mentioned that, so that actually has a lot to do with you as a person.
Yes.
So I also want to talk into, because one of the things that men actually we go through, or we having a problem with, is ego.
Yes.
And sometimes I feel like, okay, now when it comes to you having to discipline yourself, or ego, you have to actually humble yourself in
Yes.
a way. Do you feel like a lot of men are struggling from maybe getting that discipline or fixing a lot of things in their life due to their ego? And if so, how can one actually go about that, overcoming it, or just, yeah?
I think I had that ego problem as well when I was a bit younger, because I was quite popular, people knew who I was. I kind of had a lot of things going for me. So when you have an ego, sometimes you don't want to listen to anybody else. You don't want to be true to yourself, to what's happening around you. Because everything seems to be so fine and dandy, you just do whatever you want. But you don't realize that thing is detrimental to who you are. It creates a big image of you, because now you're trying to let your ego stand up instead of allowing your confidence to take over. Because the moment you allow your confidence to take over, you're able to listen to somebody else, you're able to learn from somebody else, you allow yourself to be reprimanded by an elder, you allow yourself to be reprimanded by your peer, because as much as we're the same age, it does not mean that you can never give me advice that's good for me. You can.
That's true.
But you see, when you don't have the ego, you will never have the confidence to listen to that person. Because the ego is going to take over. This person can't tell me that I must be like this. This person can't tell me no. But if you allow confidence to take over, you'll be able to sit down with what the person has told you, go home, and actually truly reflect on yourself, reflect on what the conversation you had, because listening is a skill. When I talk about listening is a skill, people think it's just a word. I have something I call the LLC. You need to be able to listen, to be able to learn, to be able to communicate. And when you communicate, you're communicating things that are going to give people life. I think that's the most important thing. So if you don't have if you have an ego, and you're gonna miss out on the small things you can take from somebody to give to somebody else.
Yeah, that's actually quite true, on what you've said. Because also, it's one of the things, like we're saying, okay, now it's you transitioning into being a dad, being a father.
Yes.
And do you feel like you can ever be ready for that? Or is there like a certain age or maturity that you need for it?
People always say, oh, kids are expensive. Oh, I'm not ready for this. Oh, I'm not ready for that. No, your blessing is not something you can prepare for. Because you're always in preparation for your blessing. You're always in preparation for your blessing, and you can never time or anticipating that now my blessing is going to happen. No, you need to be patiently working to receive your blessing. So I think anybody's always ready. What you get in your life is something that the Almighty God already knows you're ready for. It's something that the universe knows you're ready for. So nothing will ever come into your life that you're not ready for. But the problem is, do you respect yourself enough? Do you have the discipline to commit yourself to what you've been placed with? Now we're going back to the blessing. We're going back to the respect, and we're going back to honesty and all those things. So that's how these things interlink.
And like what you're saying, really, having to have a fatherhood experience, that's a blessing actually, because not everyone gets to
a fatherhood experience.
Yeah. So it's also when we're talking about in terms of now, like we're saying, okay, that's you transitioning into now being a dad. What happens to your circles then? Is it in a space where you kind of outgrow certain things? Let's say, for instance, okay, I've got a kid, and maybe all my friends don't have kids. Does that have a way of maybe affecting or just impacting one of the decisions that I'm going to make, or how do you actually go about that dynamic and stuff?
So being a father doesn't mean you're not a human being anymore. Being a father doesn't mean you're not a human being anymore. If you go back to the episode that you and I had previously, you'll realize how much I have a good relationship with my friends. We call ourselves the Gag Angels. We're the original Gag Angels in the world, just by the way. Just get that out there. So my friends are very supportive. My friends and my children have a good relationship. My daughter knows my friends. We call each other Angels, So there's a friend of mine, Skag. So I call him Ange all the time. So my daughter doesn't call my friend Skag by Skag. Whenever my daughter sees him, she goes, "Oh, there's Ange. Hi, Ange." And obviously the other ones are uncles, But it just shows you that it's not about it. It doesn't change anything. It's just up to you. Are you there for your family? Are you there for yourself to be able to distribute your time still? Because you're a human being. To still have the time to give everybody the time that they need, and for you to give yourself the time to go and be with your friends and to just relax, because we're still living in the world. We still have people. As much as you have a partner, you have friends, and maybe there are some things that you feel like, you can't tell your partner, not because it's a bad thing, but your friends have been there longer.
That's facts.
They've been there with you through so many things. My friends have been together 20 plus years. You understand? So there's certain things that, not because I don't trust my wife, not because I feel like it, but some things you just go to your brothers, and that's how I see my friends. They're my brothers, and knowing that they're my brothers, I know they can be there for my kids as well. So I don't think it changes anything. It's not supposed to change anything. In fact, it's supposed to increase everything. It's supposed to also encourage them that, listen, if he can do it, maybe so can I, And when it happens for them, they have a point of reference. It's so difficult sometimes not having a point of reference, because then you live like you feel like on no man's land. nobody's there to help you, nobody
You by
understands,
yourself,
nobody can
all that,
relate.
so.
So it's nice when your friends are willing to be open enough to listen to you and to understand your situation. It's not easy, but it's possible. It's there.
It's there. Because I just love the fact that you mentioned that, because what I also wanted to touch on is the importance of brotherhood.
Yes,
and also being in isolation as well. Like saying, okay, you're a father now, there's going to be certain responsibilities that you have. So you're obviously responsible for someone's life, honestly. So I want to talk in terms of the importance of having brotherhood, especially for men, because I feel like what we said at first, how society is, the whole construct of it, it's just too hard on men.
Yes.
So I want you to please stress on the importance of having brotherhood and the role it actually plays in men.
I think for brotherhood to exist truly and naturally so and impactfully so, all egos need to be down. Now we're going back to ego. All egos needs to be down. As much as you be confident, remember, confidence gives you the space to be open, gives you the space to listen and to learn from your friends, because your friends are also human beings who are going through their own things in life. And you guys can always come together and they can give you advice from the situation that they faced to the situation that you're in now. So you need to have the ego down, but the confidence to be able to go to your brother and tell him, hey, and it's not family. I've got a gang, so what can you earn from me? So those things are important. If you have ego, you can never have that, because now it's going to become an environment of competition. Not every time you meet your friend, you're trying to compare. Oh shit, okay, now my friend bought this. Can I buy it? Okay, now my friend is doing this. Can I? No. But congratulate your friend. Have the confidence to say, wow, my friend, congratulations. You're inspiring me. You're motivating me. So I think it's important to have a brotherhood that has no egos, but has confidence. Confidence to be able to reward each other, to discipline each other, to love each other truly, and to celebrate each other. I think that's one of the most important things. So shout out to my angels. Tens of
shout out to the angels. So that's a very vital role. I feel like having to be part of a brotherhood plays in a man's life, actually. So it's also with this thing of is there some kind of pressure per se? Let me say now, looking at being a parent.
Okay.
Is there like some kind of external pressures, like, okay, maybe we see, okay, there's social media, there's other people that we are exposed to. Do you sometimes feel like you get pressure to maybe do more as much as what you're doing now for your kids and all that? Or
at first, I'm going to be honest. At first, I would look like, oh man, my friend just did this for my first daughter, for his son. When you see somebody doing something for the daughter, and then you realize how happy your daughter is when you just bring them ice cream.
Yeah.
You just bring your daughter ice cream, and she's the happiest child in the world. And that's the most important thing. Do your kids see your efforts, and are you giving your kids efforts? I think that's the most important thing. The moment you make it an external thing, that's the moment you're going to become lost. Now it goes back to the question of how do you know you're ready for something? You will never know, but God prepares you for what's coming to you. And when God prepares you for that and it's there, there's going to be provisions for everything that you need. Without even realizing that God is giving provisions, you just see everything happen. I don't know if I'm making sense.
No,
I think people need to understand that it's life at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Life is meant to be lived. And for you to live life, you need to expand. You don't necessarily always, not everybody is going to have the blessing of being able to be parents from their own biological sense, but they can be parents to other people. So it's a privilege to be able to have somebody rely on you, because you also rely on the persons for emotional intelligence. If a person is looking at you, they'll be like, I know I can get this from you. There's no way you're not going to be emotionally intelligent with yourself and to trust yourself that I can do it. You are going to be able to. So I think those are things that people don't actually touch on. People want to talk about how expensive Pampers are. They're really not that expensive. If you can buy yourself alcohol,
come on, like what?
Don't tell me that the Pampers is expensive. Really, I think people exaggerate how expensive kids are. They're not. Those things are glorious. Sorry for calling them things, but they're little creatures. They're glorious. I'm telling you, they make every single second worth it. Every little ice cream, every little 50-cent sweet, it's so big to them, because for them it's not about the price. It's about the effort. It's about the giving. When you're able to give, your children are also learning to give, because they're now receiving, and they can know how it feels like to receive. So you imagine now they're learning to give that to somebody else. That's building a leader. How do you create a leader in your family?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
all these things that happen in your life or in your family aspects are things that develop your kids and preparing them for what's coming in their life. And that's how I'm so honored to have a father that prepared me for every environment. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And you know, speaking on, I'm glad we touched on leadership,
Yes.
right? So I also want to go back there. You know, when it comes to kids, you have to lay in a certain foundation.
Mhm.
So now, which both goes into even the traditions and what we do as you are part of our family is how we do. So, do you feel like, okay, guys, do we have enough exposure to know, okay, in terms of our traditions and passing it on to the next generation? Do you feel like we're doing that enough, or we still have a long way to go in that?
I think a lot of people don't understand traditions because they want to make it about everybody else. But every family has a culture. Every family has a culture. Every business has a culture. Every team has a culture. Every environment is a culture. So what culture are you creating for your family? You know, it can always be derived from obviously what you've learned as well, the traditions from the family that you obviously have to withhold for the rest of your days to teach your children. However, what culture are you giving your children as well at home? What culture are you giving them? I think that's the most important thing, creating a culture at home, because then it gives them a sense of identity. It gives them a sense of belonging. It gives them a sense of importance. Those are three things that I mentioned. Belonging, importance,
Yeah. No, I do. So also when we talking about that, like in terms of, okay, it's culture, and also I want to talk about the importance of having let's say how your family is being led, right? Or
Yes.
how your stronghold in terms of faith. I want to talk about faith actually as a man.
Yes.
Because you know, in most cases, like people are saying like, I know, as men we don't necessarily have to deal and dabble much in those things. Most because women are the ones that maybe attend church, do certain things. So as a man, I'm just gonna sit there. So I want to know the importance of you as a man having to lead a family and the role that faith plays in all of that.
Imagine your parents, they gave you life, you're in the world, but they have no faith in seeing you become anything. Where would you be?
Yeah.
So it's waking up every day knowing that tomorrow everything's going to be great. I think that's faith. Faith is knowing that I'm sleeping today, I'm going to wake up tomorrow. So why not live with faith every day? Because faith is our everyday living. I mean, you come for an interview, right? I didn't prepare for this because I saw myself by faith.
Yeah.
God is going to bless me with the words to say. God is going to bless me with the right thing to say at the right time. He's going to give me the message for the person who needs to hear it. Because at the end of the day, we need to function on the basis of spirituality. When you function there, you need to allow yourself to move freely to everything that happens in your life. That's why I'm saying, what preparation are you going through in life to always be ready? So you need to be faithful. You need to have faith that whatever I touch, or whatever environment, whatever opportunity I'm in, I'm ready for it. The fact that you believe you're going to wake up tomorrow, there's faith. The fact that you made an order now from Takealot or from Sheen, which is many kilometers away, believing that Sheen is going to deliver what you deliver or what you ask for. That's faith. So faith is a practice we practice every day. We just need to be present to realize that faith is our everyday life.
Yeah.
Every second we're practicing faith. When you started the podcast, it's not because you're a magician, but you had a vision, and your vision needs to be accompanied by faith. That's why we're sitting here again. I'm doing my second episode. That's faith.
That's faith. You know, that's really true. Because, you know, like you say, it's an everyday thing. We wake up every day. We're not sure what the world has for us, but we yet still believe, okay, whatever I want to do, I'm going to do it today.
Yeah.
So it's really important. And, you know, there's this saying that goes, what you do in the dark, it
comes to the light.
Comes to the light. I want to talk the importance of having habits as a guy, and also things that you do in secret and how they can actually impact the person that we're going to see as a father figure, as a dad, as a husband. So I want to talk the importance of having those habits, and good or bad, but the role it plays in terms of whatever you're going to do when we are not there or when the audience is not there.
I like that.
How it transpires.
Yo, guys, I like referencing, eh? I like referencing. You guys must go back to our episode. I talk about 3Ds: dedication, discipline, diet. Everything that you put in yourself, whether in the dark, whether in the light, whatever you're reading, whatever you're watching, whatever you're listening to, whatever you're exposing yourself to, those are things you're taking in. And those things are things that come out all the time in your character, in your presentation, in your everyday life. Everything that you feed yourself with, what comes out. I feel like people maybe have a perception of me being maybe a cheese boy or arrogant guy, maybe because I'm too overconfident. I don't know. But at the end of the day, it's just because of what I feed myself. That's why maybe some people can't relate to me, because I feed myself what's good for me. It's important to feed yourself what's going to help you grow. It's important to feed yourself something fuel that's going to keep you going for many years. Because remember, everybody feeds off you as well. Everybody feeds off your energy. Everybody feeds off your words. What are you feeding people? What you feed people is what you're feeding yourself. So it's important what you give yourself. Give yourself something that you're going to be dedicated to keep yourself disciplined, to be committed to yourself. So 3Ds: dedication, discipline, diet. What you give yourself will always be seen.
Yeah, the 3Ds, those are actually words to live by.
Yes, dedication,
because,
discipline,
in
diet.
anything that you're going to do, you have to be dedicated about it.
Yes.
And we did speak when we started this episode, when we talked about also the importance of discipline as well. So now it goes into, okay, now you are this person who's doing all of that, feeding yourself that. So doesn't it sometimes, maybe let's say I want to go back to friends again, like I was saying, we then now, there's that change in your life. Maybe you've decided, you know what, whatever, I'm going to feed myself. But also the people that I choose to associate myself with also play a huge role in
who you are. Yeah.
So is it sometimes hard when you actually have to choose you in terms of, now this is what I'm choosing to feed myself, and I'm starting to notice maybe certain things from maybe my group of friends that I don't want to be part of again, and then having to cut that out and be like, now I'm just disassociating myself from these people. So with that whole transition from you now being a dad as well, was it ever any instances where you had to decide, I need to let go of these people because now I'm looking at my life in a different perspective? And if that was the case, how was it like?
I think I didn't experience that. My friends are still my friends. My angels are still my angels. Nothing ever changed in terms of that. I'm blessed for that. However, you need to be transparent and true to yourself and your friends. And your friends need to be able to support you. If your friends really love you truly, and they're truly with you, without the ego, with true confidence of being your friend, they will support you all the way. And sometimes you'll find friends who will join you on the journey to try to also learn what you're learning from them, because a brotherhood is about growing, right? Or a sisterhood is also about growing. So sometimes when I'm doing something, it could be something that could be beneficial to you. You might find it helping you more than myself.
Right.
So I think communication in friendships is very important. Have a true, transparent conversation and an honest one. And I think then that way there won't be all these things of, man, I can't be with this guy anymore. But however, sometimes in life people have to be let go of. Sometimes people have to be cut off. And it's not because you hate them, it's not because you're better than them, but it's because it's where you're going in your life, And you might find that maybe one day, maybe after 2 years, maybe after a year, maybe after a few months, you find yourself reconnecting with that person again. And when you reconnect with that person, then you're giving them even more life, after all of that. So I don't think de-association is such a deep thing that we should think about. But however, sometimes in life you do have to let go. Yeah, sometimes in life you do have to let go. But if you're fortunate enough like me to react, they're just going to transition with you.
Yeah, and speaking on that, it's also when I'm talking about mental health and how men actually get to process that. Like I said at first, how is society giving men enough grace, or they're just expecting from them?
I think as guys also, we ourselves need to give ourselves grace. We need to stop letting society be able to determine who we're supposed to be or not to believe in. If you really know yourself, why not live up to it? Why must society have such a big contrast in who you are? If you know yourself, live up to who you are. Even now, I'm sure people are going to be watching this, going to be shocked that I'm speaking like this. But it's because you don't know me. Simple as that. I sure you know what I want you to know. You're not you, and not because I'm arrogant about it or anything, but I am who I am. And if you are in my space, I will give you what I'm going to give you. However, I will not give you everything. I can't expose my whole true self like you, my brother, when you're not. But if you are my brother, obviously you know who I am. So I think that's something also people need to practice, to respect themselves enough, to give themselves the discipline of cutting society out and truly being who you're meant to be. People always have something to say, whether it's good, whether it's bad. People will always have something to say because you are alive, you are living in a world of human beings. They will speak because they are watching. And it's not something that now you should be like, oh yeah, no, everybody's watching me, so oh, no. No, people watch you for reference. There's people who look up to you who not tell you look up to you. And that's just fact.
Yeah. You know, that's so, and you know, speaking of that in terms of, okay, now people definitely look up to you whether you're aware or not. I want to talk about of finding your purpose as a man. Like, how does one get to that point? Like, okay, now I've actually found my purpose as a man, and having to like answer your calling. Like I was saying, making an example of saying a calling could be anything. It could be maybe you having to come here and speak. That could have reached to someone else. How can a man go about it? Like you can tell us on your side in terms of okay, how you actually got to find your purpose, and yeah, just how it was.
Yeah.
And
Yo, excuse me, that's a very difficult question. Finding your purpose, yo, snap up and face it. It's not easy. It's very difficult. I think I'm still also still discovering myself. However, when you look at things you've done in your life, look at your experience will always have a repetition of certain things, something that's always been happening in your life. And for me, it's been marketing. How do I take marketing? Marketing for me is connecting with people. So I think my blessing is connecting with people. I connect very well with people. Because I realize that we connect very well with people, I try my best to be a problem solver. I try less to be a problem, but I try always to be a solution. And I think that's one way I can define my purpose is always being a solution for people because experiences will lead you to gain certain wisdom to always give people life. Wisdom is not something that you can close your eyes and say, oh, I want to be wise because I'm 45. No, there's no way. Wisdom is endurance. Wisdom is endurance you attain from surviving situations that you face in your life. It could be loss, it could be heartbreak, it could be so many things that give you life because of the lessons you're learning from that, from overcoming, from still standing from that point A to point B. And that's how you gain wisdom. And from the wisdom I've gained, it's helped me connect with people on so many different levels and so many different people in my life. And I think maybe my purpose is literally connecting with people and just being a problem solver. I think that can be one way to describe a part of my purpose. And another part of my purpose is literally being who I am. That's my purpose. My purpose is for me to be who I am. As Thembela Mkhabela, who am I? And am I living to who I believe I am? Because the moment you live in who you are is the moment you're living in your purpose. Yes, your purpose will have ups and downs. You know, your purpose will have tears.
Exactly.
Your purpose will have heartbreak. But why are you taking from it? Are you helping it harness you? Are you helping it shape you? Because God will break you to build you up again. So if God is constantly breaking you, refining you, that is your purpose. That is you going further into your purpose. I think my purpose is being who I am. And I think I'm good at being who I am because I don't think anybody can be who I am. And that's my purpose, is just keep on being who I am and to keep living my life. I've lived for myself. I think I'm still living for myself, yes. But now I think my purpose is even magnified because of my children. So I'm stepping more into being who I am and to more of my talents, to more of my blessings that God has shown me I can achieve in order for me to be an inspiration for my children. Because the children must not look far to find inspiration, they must look close. And for them to see inspiration by you is for you to be yourself. Yourself living your purpose.
Yeah, you know, that's a very powerful thing, honestly, because there's no one who can be you as a person. And, you know, also on that, as we were talking about, okay, now kids. So I want to know that when now you have, obviously, you're not going to be looking at life the same way, but what are those things that you are also learning about yourself through that, you having to raise the kids and all that?
Wow. happen to be very strict.
Is it? Wow.
I seem to be very strict. But I think I'm also a very good listener. And I'm realizing I'm actually very patient. Yeah, those are things I'm learning about myself. I'm pretty strict, very patient, and I'm a good listener. I think those are things that my kids are asking from me, and I really enjoy it. I really enjoy it. I wouldn't replace it for anything else. So those are things I've learned about myself. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Oh, and another thing, I've realized that I actually do have power, that when I want to do something, I can actually do it. Imagine we're having kids to show you that if you want to do something, you can actually do it. That's crazy, but that's all. So when the kids come, it's when your elevation is on the way, just by the way.
Okay, because I really get to see, because I'm saying, you in the, I can say, past 15 years, or you without kids and you with kids now.
Yeah, because you know me.
Yeah. It's actually quite great to see that. And like you were saying, sometimes you don't have to look from afar. Because like I'm saying, you are the closest person I can say, I can see that through you.
Yeah.
So I want to talk also in terms of protection.
Okay.
As a guy, as a man, you are responsible for a lot of things.
Yes.
Like, okay, now kids, obviously, your father, your wife, your family, and all that. So when it comes to now, you having to play that role, how do you go about it? Like, it could be because you have to protect your family spiritually, you have to protect them physically.
Yes.
So on that one, how do you then, okay, I'm a guy, I don't know now, maybe I'm thinking of starting my family and all that. Is there like maybe a way in terms of I can do it, or
I'm very overprotective of my family. I'm sure some people are gonna be shocked hearing that I've got a wife, I've got a kid. I'm very overprotective of my family because not everybody will be happy for you. Not everybody will have those expectations for you, and they might wanna destroy it somehow or another way. I've lived life in a very tough way. I mean, my mother got hijacked not long ago. I've lost my sister, I've lost my father, so I'm very overprotective of my family. Those who know my family, who are very close to me, obviously now you all know. I have got a family, but you don't know them. You've never seen them. So I'm very overprotective over them because they're my everything. And some people can view it as a weakness, and especially us guys who are trying to achieve certain things while going into certain spaces. You can see the world is not safe enough. People are dying every day. People are getting kidnapped. People are getting raped. People are getting murdered. It's a very tough world that we're living in. So it's very important to protect your kids and your family, but you protect them in a sensible manner. You don't now protect them like a crazy human being that you're always getting attacked. No, go for ice cream here and there. Go for movies here and there. But you need to also be. You need to be thinking about the time. When am I doing it? Where am I doing it? How am I doing it? Who am I doing it with, and why am I doing it at the moment, and where am I doing it? So those things are questions you must ask yourself constantly, So I'm very overprotective. I'm very overprotective. My daughter goes to school. I get so worried sometimes. She gets taken care of by one of my son gets taken care of by one of our grandmas. I would leave them, and a few hours I'd be like, hey, no, man, I need to call. So I'm very overprotective.
So now you kind of understand what you.
What my friends were going through when they didn't want me to go out. When they were saying, no, just stay in the house today. Oh no, just drink at home. I truly, really understand now that our parents actually really, really love each other, because I think the moment you become a parent, you stop living for yourself. You literally stop living for yourself. Everything you're trying to do is to make their lives easier.
And with that, like saying, I can feel like it kind of sometimes can be a daunting task, as much as it's something that you're going to do and it feels naturally because you're ready for it.
Yes.
So I want to know in terms of, okay, when now things start feeling a bit too much for you, in terms of, okay, what's your way in terms of the importance, I really want to touch on the importance of maybe taking like a break for
like
yourself, like a relief. How important is that? And if you don't mind sharing, okay, what's your way in saying, okay, now I just want to chill and just
You see, if you can listen very well to a conversation, I've mentioned that we're all human beings at the end of the day. So I'm also a human being. So whenever I need those time, I go to the gym. That's why I'm a backbench, guys. Not in a bad way. But yeah, I go to the gym, I play some rugby, I go to my injuries, just to go chill with them for a little while. Then I go back home. My wife also sometimes when I feel like she's going through that, I suggested, no, let's go to the park. Let's go watch a movie together. Let's get the kids to go say something because she also needs that. If I need that, I will mention her. You know what I'm saying? Because my mother's work. Mother's work. I commend you. I commend women as mothers. You guys really, wow, it's phenomenal what women do, and I don't think we should take it for granted. And it really disheartens me when I realize that there are single mothers out there because guys, we need to do better. As much as society does ponder on men, men also make a lot of unnecessary mistakes, a lot of decisions we do not need to make because of people. But be there for your children because I'm telling you, the mother of your children is working. So I try my best to make sure that she's also relaxed. I relieve her with the kids. Take the kids out, we go to my grandma's, we go to her grandma's, because I know when you go there, the kids are going to go off their hands. So you need to be able to now give time for the both of you guys, So when I think about sometimes me needing to rest, I also think about her. So I train, I go hiking, I do a lot of sports, man. That's how I relax myself, and a date with my woman, that all helps.
Yeah.
That's the best time.
Yeah, it's kind of really because it goes back to what we're saying about the having like habits and a routine and all that. Like you say, okay, now you know where to. Okay, I'm just all over the show right now. Let me just go to the gym. Let me just go to. So that's one thing that I really love in terms of what we touched, because I feel like a lot of guys, as much as we are going through so many things, but the thing is, one thing I always love saying. It's having so much free time can be very dangerous. I feel because if now I'm stressed or whatever, what am I gonna do? I don't have like a routine. I don't have like a plan on how I do that. So I wanna, before we close on it, the boy child. Do you sometimes feel like the boy child is being left behind, or?
I think society. This is gonna be very controversial. I feel like society is so angry at men, and I don't understand why. And if you're gonna go to a township, you're gonna go to a rural area, or even now, if you go step outside, you go to the street, you go see who are the people on the streets, who are the street kids. It's mostly men. And you need to ask yourself, what's missing? Is it love? Is it opportunities? Is it care? Is it time? What is actually missing from this young man or men that's making them be on the streets? Or that's making them become criminals, that's making them become rapists or anything, or be violent. What is it that's missing? And I think also sometimes we as men have a fear of being vulnerable.
Yeah, because like we mentioned, it comes off as a weakness sometimes.
And it's power. Vulnerability is power. The moment you're able to be vulnerable and confident is the moment people are gonna be curious or conscious of this guy is talking about something so emotional, but he's so confident in it. Why? That makes people curious as to what is this guy doing in his life. So I think as men, we need to trust our emotions. We need to be open. We need to create spaces, man, where we just sit down and talk, just like this. We're just sitting down, we're having a conversation, because whenever people talk about men's conference and things like that, most of the time people think there's going to be pastors there. No, guys, pastors are also human beings. They've got a lot of experience, and that's why they're blessed with being able to give the message, because they collaborate the message in who they are and what they've experienced in life. I'm privileged to have a spiritual father who understands that. He was a spiritual father once as well. I think he's very good at what he does in terms of human understanding. So I think as men, we need to learn to be more open. We need to learn to be more true with ourselves. And we need to understand that sometimes you are going to be defeated. And being defeated doesn't mean that now it's the end of the world. It just means, no, you need to just correct 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's going to make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times better. I think that's one thing that we men need to actually think about, especially guys who are well off. Let's create foundations, guys, where guys can be able to come and be human beings. Give them space to be human beings. There's a friend of mine, Prince. He's a photographer. I'm not gonna drop his business name because we're on a podcast. Um, they were having a games thing this past weekend.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I couldn't be there because I wasn't around. But they were having fun. Sometimes guys, it's okay to have fun. Don't always be so tied up in my gosh, I'm in my Gucci.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. There's more to life than.
You're a human being.
Yeah.
You're a human being. At the end of the day, we're all gonna die. So why can't you make life something worth living when we're alive by just being ourselves? We're always going to be children. You're gonna die a child. No matter how old you are, you're still a child. So let's try to find a way to connect to that energy. You know, instead of making everything be about money, success, about business. You end up not enjoying that money, success, and that business because you're not living.
I know.
You're not living. You're just there to work. You're not living. When you're living, you're able to enjoy the little that you're getting, you know. So yeah, I think we need to create spaces for guys to be confident enough to be vulnerable. I think it's very crucial.
You know, like vulnerability is where your power actually is.
It's a strength.
Like I'm saying, because you know how the world just look at men like, okay, the minute you're vulnerable, you're a simp, you're all that.
Yeah.
There's so many labels to
these
it.
labels.
It like put men in this position where they can't fully express themselves because of that. You know, there's so much takeaways that
And
I
think,
thought.
sorry for the interrupting. I think some women miss out because they assume that the husband is going to be that guy who's coming here, who's already successful, who can able to just install your weave, to do your nails, just to give you. He also needs to receive. What are you giving him? You can't say now because you're sleeping with a guy, or then you're giving him no. That guy also needs love. He also needs time. He also needs to be hugged. He also needs to be listened to. He also needs a shoulder to cry on. Those are things that men don't get. But you know, the world is selfish. It's all about them. It's all about what they can take from it. Take. So I think, women also need to just wise up and to realize that this is real life. We're living in a reality. We're not living in a social construct where everything is on social media.
Exactly.
We're living real life, you know, and not everything on social media is good for you. It might look good, but you know what it's like. Because remember, everything is spiritual, especially money. Money goes to spirit. And some money you shouldn't receive from certain individuals because of what they have. But because you're so sure of what you're supposed to be getting because of social media, you go taking it from everyone else.
Ish. Yeah, I did. Yo, that was like, you know, mentioning that money and spirituality. Yeah, that's
scary times.
It's really scary. Honestly, looking at how the world is and how people are going about just to get certain things done. But yeah, you know what? Thank you so much for actually being part of this, and you know, having to hear the perspective of fatherhood from your side. It's really refreshing to hear, like I'm saying, and I'm hoping, and I know that our listeners will really enjoy this episode.
Yeah.
But before we close, though, I would like for you to just, what's that one piece of advice you would have given yourself before you had kids?
Yo, guys, thank you for having me, number one, on this beautiful episode of the podcast. I'm truly honored. You should really listen to it when you get the time. You're gonna learn a lot. People that come here are very honest. They're very vulnerable in terms of who they are, and you're gonna take a lot. So please give yourself time and watch us. What I would tell myself as a young person: be confident in your heart. Be confident in who you are. Don't be afraid of what people will think, what people will say. If God has blessed you with that and is showing you that way you're supposed to be going, go for it. Don't think, oh my gosh, what are they going to say? Man, I didn't do a state for it in high school because I was afraid of what people were going to say, that I'm dancing on stage, I'm doing this kind of dances. We're going to be in today. So I think that's what I've told myself, Thembela. Be confident in who you are. Everything that's happening is supposed to happen. Be confident in yourself. And that's just that.
Yeah, I like that. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
So yeah, thank you so much for really watching our episode. And if you have made it this far, you better have subscribed to our YouTube. Like I said earlier, you can also find the Fresh Prince of Talk podcast on Apple Podcast, Google, and Spotify. For now, cheers from us.
Don't sab, just hands bam. Doesn't look to be jab. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, man. And with Bev, I just want to bow you for having me in the French Prince of Talk. It was absolutely amazing. I enjoyed it. Hope you guys listen to us, and I'm going to come back again. It's the second time I'm here. This is definitely home. But don't sab, doesn't look to be jab. Just hands couldn't go. Get on the door and say a prayer.
And thank you once again for tuning in to the Fresh Prince of Talk podcast. If you've made it this far, you better have subscribed to our YouTube, as well as Apple, Spotify, and Google Podcasts at the Fresh Prince of Talk podcast. From us to you, cheers.